Welcome back, Food FAQers. Today, we're talking about a nice, warm hug of a plate that involves pasta.
That's because the autumnals is coming upon us.
Of some of us.
The weather's cooler outside.
Yeah. Today, I thought I'm moving. I was
Definitely.
outside and I thought I have to get the fuck out of here.
This week, Mariela, this week,
I don't, fuck off. This is when I start to get bitter at you and I don't want to fucking hear about it.
the hottest day, the high will be 78. That's the hottest day. And it's just the beginning. So it's nice. The hottest day, the high is 78. And our lows are in the 50s and 60s.
I know, I already looked. That's why I texted you earlier. Right now, it's 90 fucking 1 and it's gonna rain. Like all hell break loose rain. All
Today's-
week.
I have rain this week also, but
It's not the same. The rain here. The rain here is different.
Well, okay. I think the rain is everywhere else. It's the same.
It's not the same.
Whoa. Okay. It's gonna
Fuck you.
rain everywhere. It's the same. Okay. But so funny little story. When Tanya lived up here for a period of time, she was so shocked to one day it was raining outside, right? And it was kind of cold outside. It was probably in the 40s. And she went outside and she was so shocked to feel cold rain
It's the worst.
because she's just, in South Florida, we were accustomed to rain being warm.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh my God, the rain is cold. I'm like, well, yeah, it's kind of cold outside. So the rain is cold. So yeah, rain can be different in other places because you can have cold rain, which we didn't experience growing up.
No, so that's not true. This is the difference. The difference is this. When it rains here,
There's an actual difference.
I'm gonna speak now. I'm speaking.
Oh.
I'm
Oh.
speaking. Okay. So the difference is here, it's like the sky opens, it parts, and the world is over. And it's lightning, and the rain is fat, and it's hard, and it lasts maybe an hour or so, depending. And then it'll kind of brighten up again, like it never happens. The rain up north is an annoying drizzle that just fucking goes on for days and days, and it's cold outside. So it's like the kind of rain that like your shoes get wet and your socks are cold. Like that's in my head, that's what it feels like sensory wise. It's different. Here, it's like you're in a pool and then you're not.
Okay. So that's a storm system. That's not the physical rain.
Oh, listen,
Okay?
I don't care. We're gonna have to agree that I'm right, okay? We're good here. You want to forget that you came from here, but you are from here, okay? You know what the rain is like.
Listen, I have been far enough removed. I mean, I will say though that I do miss good thunderstorms because we don't really have we have thunderstorms here, but like when that thunder cracks and it shakes your entire home,
Memories.
it's so calming.
I know.
Like a good thunderstorm. Like I love laying down and taking a nap.
Yeah, so I guess that's our form of fall. That's the way fall comes into here, which is fucked up. It's like it just gets rainy and muggy, but it still makes me want to make kind of different food. There's something internal, I think, inside of humans that like you can detect when the time changes and you're just ready to eat something warmer. And I've been doing more like pressure cooking stuff, like hearty meat things, and yeah. So this is a pasta that's like a riff off of, what is that shit called?
French onion soup.
Yeah, this is a riff on French onion soup, which I don't know if it's just my feed. I know it's also your feed. They're French onion souping every
French
fucking
onion
thing.
soup, everything. And let me explain something. Last year, I don't know if we put it on our podcast. We might have. I made a French onion soup sandwich.
Yeah, we did. We did that.
Right. So I like to think that we started a trend. Probably not, but I like to think so.
I'm going to link that episode because that was actually a really good sandwich, which sounded kind of gross to me. But when I made it, I was like, man, this fucker knows what he's talking about.
Once in a while.
You're the
And
fucker.
for some reason, I've had like onion cravings lately. But like, remember I told you like the cravings, like I eat raw onion lately. And I don't know
Like a
why.
disorder.
Fucking God knows what else to put on the list. But it's just like I'll come home or like I'll be at home and like I'll cut a slice of onion and eat it.
Ew, really?
I don't know why. I'm just really into onion right now. This is my thing.
If you guys are medical professionals and you know why Eric has a sudden urge to eat raw onions like that, just like,
I can imagine myself going to my doctor and saying, "Oh, I have an urge to eat raw vegetables." He's gonna be like, "Thank God." Fucking eat up the onions, man.
I don't know if an onion counts technically as a vegetable. You're giving yourself a lot of credit there, okay, buddy?
You know what? I am sure there's a nutrient in there that maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's like a nutrient
Maybe
that my body's needing at the
craving.
moment, and and it knows it's coming from there and it's craving it.
Wow. You're
Because I
like,
love onions. I
I
love
do
onions.
too.
So this
My
recipe was
husband,
cool.
when we first met, he didn't like onions and he used to fish all the onions out. And now he tolerates them because he doesn't like peppers either. I can omit a pepper, I feel, but an onion is like the building blocks of literally everything that you cook.
Like almost every good meal will start with an onion, garlic.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I can omit green pepper
Yeah.
because that's not my favorite thing.
Me
But
neither.
if it's like a yellow, orange, or red pepper, those are delicious.
I like them too. And I even like, the little mini ones that you can like eat as a snack. I love those, but I buy them and they die in the refrigerator because nobody else eats them in my
I buy
house.
them too, and like I have all these wonderful plans that I'm going to eat a delicious, healthy snack, and it never.
They're so good with cream cheese and a little bit of like everything but the bagel
I was gonna
seasoning.
say,
I
yeah,
love
that's
them.
exactly how I eat them.
Really?
Literally exactly how I eat them.
So
Yeah.
good. I'm gonna buy a pack and just whatever, sacrifice them to the gods. You know what I could do is probably like dice them up and freeze them and sneak them into meals and nobody would know.
Yeah, you can like pulverize them up, yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so if you don't know what giving something the French onion treatment is, basically it's just caramelizing a shit ton of onions. I use like maybe six. Mine were small.
Okay, yeah, I use three large ones.
Yeah, that it's probably I would say three to four.
Mhm.
And caramelizing an onion always sounds really good in my mind, Eric, but I'm not gonna lie, even when I was making this, I was like, motherfucker,
Yeah,
why does
well,
it
because it
take so
takes fucking
long?
forever.
Yeah, man, and you can't speed the process up because if you do, it's not the same at the end. So, okay, I'm gonna tell you how I do this, okay? And maybe we differ somehow. I like to slice them into half moons,
Hmm.
and then I put them in a pot, and I put like, I don't know, I put a lot of butter in these fuckers because I don't know, I was just wanting butter yesterday, and I put like maybe half a stick of butter in that sucker and some olive oil. And is that a lot?
Maybe your body needs something in the
Maybe
process.
my body needs butter. I don't think my body needs
Your
butter.
body needs milk fats, I assume.
So anyway, you started like maybe I started it on like medium and I kept it there, I want to say. And then I'll let them sweat out a little. I'll add some salt. I'll add some balsamic vinegar, some sugar, and then I'll just let them cook for like 45 minutes.
So I did the same thing, except I just did like 3 tablespoons of butter, or teaspoons of butter. Like I just like three little pads with olive oil, cut them into half moons. I didn't really put any salt or seasoning on it at the moment because I knew I was going to season the hell out of the whole meal. And when the onions were done, I did put some balsamic vinegar on it. And the reason I put balsamic vinegar is because whether it's true or not true, someone can tell us this. I always read that if you put balsamic vinegar when you're caramelizing onions, that it helps it move along.
I've read that too, and it also adds like a richer color, I think, for me.
It
I think.
does. It does. And I also read something the other day. If you put like a teaspoon of brown sugar or something like that, it kind of helps.
I
And
love
it
that.
makes sense because the sugar's going to caramelize. So I actually start mine at a high heat and
Do
just get
you?
them going a little soft, and then I put it down to a medium heat.
I do
Hmm.
the opposite. That's so
It took
cute.
about 30 minutes. It took about 30 minutes to get there.
And I always want there to be an easier way, but I don't know. Maybe the pressure cooker? I don't know.
No, because you're not gonna. I wonder. No, because I was gonna say no, because the texture's not gonna be the same, things like that. Because I was gonna say you could probably like roast them to get them soft, but you're still gonna put them in the oven for quite a while.
All right, so this is a Sunday meal in my opinion because
It
of
is.
that.
It is.
You cannot make this shit on a Tuesday if you're in a rush to feed your
No,
family
it takes
because
too
you're
long.
going to get pissed off.
Yeah.
So then once your onions are in that very soft, jammy stage, I got like 4 cloves of garlic. I'm using real garlic again because I ran out of garlic and I go in and out of phases with that shit. And then I chopped it up real tiny and then I cooked it for like another 15 minutes. I waited for the garlic to get nice and sweet as well. Did you do
Mm.
that? Wait, did
No,
you probably use garlic?
I use garlic for sure.
Yeah,
I use like heaping tablespoons of it because
which you
it.
can.
Yeah. Well, the recipe did say for like 5 cloves of garlic, so I
Yeah.
get tablespoons for it.
Yeah, because garlic from a jar, which is what we're calling garlic like morons, like they do on the internet. I don't know why I even said that. I'm disappointed in myself right now. Calling it garlic.
I am disappointed in you.
I know. Well, you just are generally.
That's how our friendship works.
But the taste is more muted with the jarred garlic for whatever reason, and it tastes really great, honestly. I think it does taste better
Yeah.
than that's why I cooked the fresh garlic longer because I didn't want that like fuck in the face of garlic. I wanted it to be mellow.
I think jarred garlic tastes better. And I don't know if it has to do that it's packed in olive oil or that, so the olive oil absorbs the flavor to it.
You need to show me this garlic that you buy in olive oil because the one I buy comes in like a weird water that's like probably.
Okay, there's two different types. There's
I've
a
never
water
seen
one
that.
and an oil one. Yeah, yeah. We'll look at it one day together.
Anyway, so that and then I added thyme. I used the jarred stuff or the dry because that's what I had, and I used 1 teaspoon, which was enough.
I use about a teaspoon of thyme also. Mine was fresh just because I had it for a previous recipe, and so cause normally I don't keep fresh herbs.
Me neither.
Holidays, I don't. Everything's dried, so I did do about a teaspoon of thyme. I like thyme. It's not like my big thing, but I did about a teaspoon of thyme.
I like thyme, but not enough to buy it fresh, honestly. The only thing I really feel makes a difference fresh is basil. Basil
Yep.
dry tastes
Yeah.
like nothing, which I did. I bought it the other day and I don't know why I bought it, but I did the dry basil. Dry basil really tastes like nothing, right? Am I alone?
I think it's good. I think you just got to use it within a shorter period of time.
No, not fresh, dry.
Yeah, I think with dry basil, like I think
Oh,
it does taste, but I think you just got to use it in a shorter period of time. Like I think, dry basil, like I agree, like I think it loses its flavor kind of quicker than other spices do.
right? I'm gonna test that because I just bought it and I'm gonna see how long it's like worth putting into something. I got it from the Trader Joe's, which by the way, I love their spices.
Yeah,
I
do
buy
too.
them when I buy them, I feel like they just are so much more fragrant,
I
especially their garlic. Their garlic powder smells so fucking good. Anyway, I digress. So you do all that, you guys, and then I like to put Worcestershire sauce
hmm
in the pastas that I cook in this fashion where like you add the water and you cook it all in one pan. So I added a teaspoon of Worcestershire. Did you use? I think you didn't.
I use Worcestershire.
Oh, you did? I thought you
Oh
had it.
yeah, I didn't do a teaspoon. I did a bunch of glugs. I love Worcestershire
Oh
sauce.
my God, right? I think it's so underutilized and it's so
It's
delightful.
extremely underutilized because it's not like a sauce. It's very liquidy. So you have to like put it in things to make something out of it. It's not like a sauce you can like put on something. You
No,
have
you
to
can eat it by itself.
Right. It goes really good with marinades. It goes really good in dishes like this. But I love the taste of it. It's like salty and just very,
Umami.
it's umami-ish.
Oh, speaking of, I put like 3 dashes of my Maggie because I like to sneak
When I was
Maggie.
eating this the other night, I was wondering if you put your Maggie in it.
I put my Maggie all up in that shit and I put like 3 drops, which is a lot for me because I try to be super conservative with Maggie because sometimes it could taste like soy sauce where it's not like invited to the party to
Right.
me. So I used 3 because I added beef to this dish and anything with beef, I fucking bring it to the party because it always makes
Right.
everything taste better. Okay, and then I caramelized, not de what is that word? Deglazed the pan with I used like 1/8 of a cup of pink wine, the whore wine. That's what I like to call it. Don't you think pink wine is whore wine? I don't know. I use it as a badge of honor, but I'm not a big wine person, but I do like a pink wine. And I deglazed it with that. What did you use? White? Because you're just such a classy bitch.
I am. I have bottles of white wine in my home right now. So I did it. I actually uncorked a new bottle. That means we had to drink it.
Oh, you uncorked it, everyone. You didn't just
I
twist
did.
off the top like I did.
No, bitch, you gotta get a corkscrew. I uncorked it. But I used about a third of a cup of white wine.
And then I cooked it out because the kids are like wine finders. Like they're like freaking, what are those dogs that find things? I forgot what they're called.
Like the sniffing dogs.
Sniffing dogs. Yeah, anytime I use alcohol on anything, they're like, Mom. Instead of being
Man,
like
we just make fun
cool,
at the parties.
for real, girl. So, all right. And then I put a little
Just so you know,
pepper.
I actually put my ground meat in it at this point too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Meat.
Yes.
Was it raw or cooked?
It was raw. So I went through everything
Mm-hmm.
before I deglazed with the wine. I went ahead and put the ground meat in there and I sauteed it up and then I deglazed with the wine.
Question. So when you did that, that means that like the onions were like degrading,
Mhm.
right? They were like part of the meat.
Yeah.
Huh. I like that. And you use what again? What kind of meat?
Actually, I had ground chicken on me. I didn't have ground beef on me. I would have preferred ground beef. I think it would have added a better flavor. But no, I just use ground chicken. I use whatever I had in my home.
You know, I've been using turkey and chicken more because, you know, just to alternate animals to eat. I gotta say, it is pretty good and you can sub it quite seemlessly, even like
I use ground
picadillo.
chicken more than ground turkey because I find it's more moist. So I use the ground chicken, but just don't give me that fucking face. You're so mature. So I
It is
use,
more moist. It is. I'm serious.
okay, I don't know if you're fucking around with me.
No, it is.
It is. Yeah. But that's what I did. And then I deglazed it with the wine.
Okay, so I had top round that I had pressure cooked earlier for a meal that never was. So I just kind of like tore that meat, kind of like my pasta was more like an ode to like a French dip sandwich at that point because I added that meat.
I think that's great. That sounds
Right?
fantastic. I think that sounds fantastic on this. Ooh, like a shredded beef or something like that.
It was just like that, and
That
it was
sounds
short.
fantastic with this
So
meal.
good. And that's when I added my meat, and I shredded it with my fingers because it was super soft, And why are you laughing?
You just said my meat.
You always like my meat. I know. I know.
No, no, not really.
All right, so I put it in there and I heated it through. And then the cool thing about this pasta is that you cook it kind of like all in one pot. This is similar
Hmm.
to my stroganoff recipe that we've talked about once before. I used like a mini bow tie pasta because it's what I had, and I wasn't about to go to the store and buy anything special for this. What did you use? What
I use
cup?
penne.
You used the penne.
Yeah, I had a box, so I use a penne.
Yeah, and you can kind of use any shortcut pasta that you
You can
have.
use any shortcut pasta. Just here's the thing. I put the pasta in, and then of course we put the added liquids in, which I use beef stock, and then I did cut it with 1 cup of water. Here's the thing that I noticed. It takes a bit longer for the noodles to cook than they would obviously if you're just cooking in salted water.
Hmm.
So this is a dish that you have to use like a short pasta, like you said, like a bow tie pasta or a penne or a rigatoni pasta. Because if you were to use like a spaghetti or something like that, it's going to be mush. It's
Yeah.
because it's going to take too long for that liquid to fully evaporate into the pasta, which is only a couple minutes over what a box would
Right.
recommend, which is like 11 to 12 minutes. But a thinner pasta is not going to work with this. So you do need like a short pasta, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I used 2 cups of stock because that's what I had, and I used 2 cups of water. But I also added bouillon, which I have been living by. Honestly, bouillon is there's I use it every single day. The chicken
Man,
bouillon.
that's a fancy dish. You use bouillon and Maggie.
I did. This shit is yeah, but I was light, right? I wasn't heavy-handed with any of it, but yes, I did use both because since I had to use an extra cup of water instead of the broth, what is it? The stock?
Yeah,
I think it needed like a boost in flavor.
right.
And then that's it. So in total, you need 4 cups of liquid.
You need 4 cups of liquid. So I use 3 cups of broth and 1 cup of water.
Yeah, and then you go ahead and you let it boil, and then I put a top on it, like the lid.
I put a top on it for a little while, and then probably about 8, 9 minutes in, I went ahead and I did take the top off because I
Same.
wanted it to keep evaporating.
Yeah, and you have to like make sure when you're stirring it, get under it because you don't want it to
Yes.
stick to your
Oh my
pan.
God, that's so fucking funny. Because I was noticing the pasta on the top was not really cooking,
Mm-hmm.
but the pasta on the bottom was. So I was constantly stirring it through.
Mm-hmm. Same here. I had to like, and I used to have this really big pan with like high sides
Yeah.
that I cook things like this in, which is the pan. It's like my multi-use pan, but that one got fucked up, and now I'm using one that's a little bit smaller, and I gotta go out and get like a replacement because
I just use a stock pot.
I know, I'm a kind of an asshole when it comes to what I use. I mean, you know that about me. I'm a little bit snobby when it
Right.
comes to what I use in the kitchen, and like, I really enjoy a high-sided pan. I want to say like maybe 14 inches. I like it big.
I know you do.
And yeah, like I mean this one's smaller. It's like maybe 10 or 12. But anyway, whatever pot you can use a stock pot, absolutely no
Yep.
problem there. But make sure that you're like getting underneath and scooping the
Yes.
bottom over the top. And then that's it. And I didn't have Gruyere, and I wasn't in like the
I
shopping
didn't have
mood.
beer either.
Yeah.
I had sharp cheddar
Me too. Go
and I
ahead.
beat that shit up and that's what I use. Absolutely.
Yes. And my kids are not cheese lovers, so what I did was
What is wrong with them?
I don't fucking know, but they like pizza.
Good.
Fucking, they're
I
so
love these
random.
children to pieces, but we're gonna bring up the Uncle Keters for a bit, okay? I mean, oh,
Girl.
I guess they're too young to teach them alcohol, but at least teach them cheeses.
Yeah, but I have like a microplane, and I got like I had Alpine lace, not Alpine lace, Alpine cheddar, I want to say it's called. And I just like grated a little bit of it inside the pasta to give it like that sharpness,
Right.
but it wasn't visible to the naked eye. And that was it, you guys. But you can definitely do Gruyere. I even told Keter, wouldn't it be fabulous if we made like Gruyere breadcrumbs, toasty, 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 toasty. Like maybe in the air fryer, you can just spread some breadcrumbs and put some cheese in them and like zhuzh them about and then bake them off or air fry them.
I want to do that because you know how like, and you and I are kind of the same. Like, I get obsessed with the recipe
Mm-hmm.
until it becomes like exactly what I want it, and I almost wonder if I could bring this together and then like get like, like nice crostinis and like pulverize it up and then bake this all together, like
Mm,
almost like ziti.
yes. You could probably even cook this in the oven if you wanted to, like the liquid and the pasta and all that stuff and cover it. And so you don't have to babysit it and put it in the oven. You
Right. It's
probably
good.
could do that.
Wow. It's gonna take like 30, 40 minutes probably for that to happen.
Yeah, but it's not as hands-on. So I think
Right. Yeah.
it's a possibility. And then you could just treat it kind of like that kind of pasta and then make it a bake. And that would be what? So fucking delicious.
So with this recipe, what I like about this recipe, I did not go buy anything extra for it
Right, me
because
neither.
first of all, I was not going to spend like $10 on grilled cheese. That's not in the budget this week. I paid bills. So I was not going I was not going to do that. And what I like about this recipe is one, it used up all my onions that I had for a minute and was about to go bad.
Hmm.
So because when I buy onions, I don't know about you, I buy them in the big fucking bag.
Yeah, but I use mine, girl. I
That's
cook.
just, I try to use it, but actually, you know why I have so many onions? Because I had bought a bag and I started using it. And I forgot I had a bag and I bought a
Oh,
second bag, like at the grocery store the following week. So I had like onions coming my ass here.
wow.
It was like an onion-rific time. So what I like is, like I said, any pasta you can use. If you follow us, you're always gonna have stock in your cupboards.
Hmm.
Any meat you can use. Any protein. The only protein I would stay away from is probably like a fish protein. Like that's not just
Yeah, no.
that's not going to go well with this.
Or just omit it. You don't need to have protein.
Right. And that's the thing too. You don't need to have protein, period. This is a full meal on its own.
You can use protein pasta, which I do for the kids all the
Yeah.
time, and they don't know they're eating it, and it tastes just the same.
You can use whatever you want. And by the way, when I talk about protein, I always forget that that's like a macro that people count. I just want meat. And so I just forget that's a macro that we count.
It's a meat.
But the protein, you can use any one you want. And like you
Right.
said, you don't have to use a protein. And if you are counting protein, just use a protein pasta. You're
Yes,
right.
I love that.
And so this is something that what I like is it's almost a clean your fridge out type of meal.
Hmm.
And when I look at the recipe and I was like, well shit, I don't have Gruyere cheese. And like I said, I was not gonna spend $10 on a
It's
block
like
of Gruyere cheese.
Gruyere isn't
What
the
I
kind of
had,
cheese that you just have in the refrigerator for fucking shits and
you know what I
giggles.
had? I had two half blocks of aged cheddar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, screw it. 2.5 blocks will make a blockish. And we're
Ta-da.
just gonna break that shit up. And that's what I did. And then I had leftover the cream. Oh, because you do gotta put a splash of cream in there.
At the end, yeah.
And the cream, again, I don't buy a lot of cream because I don't use it in coffee. And I had a little bit of cream left from a little pint that I had, and that was it. So this is really a clean your fridge out. And if you don't want the cream in there, omit it.
You don't need it.
Totally fine. You don't. It just added a little bit of a creaminess to it, but honest to God, you can omit it and it's not a big deal. And then Ryan likes things really cheesy, so I just put Parmesan cheese on top of it when I served it to him.
You're like, here's the bottle of Kraft, Ryan. This one's special for you.
Yeah, because he doesn't get my nice
I know.
container. He gets the big green $3.99 bottle. He gets not my nice $12.
No.
I haven't bought
God
lately.
forbid.
I got $12 for cheese right now, but it was it was really good. I really like this meal. I think it's a great fall meal. I think as the weather gets cooler, sorry, Marty, but I think as the weather gets cooler, it's going to be a really good meal to have in
And
your
it feeds a lot of people.
It feeds a lot of people. So I fed 3 people and I still had quite a bit of leftovers. And everybody had 2 servings. And I had quite a bit of leftovers. So
Yeah, same here. Like I'm having it. Me and my husband are having it for lunch today.
yeah, absolutely.
So that's like what, six portions.
Yep.
Okay, so I recommend you make this because it is cheap, it is easy, it is different. The flavor profile is like my husband tried it. He was like, "Huh, interesting," because it tastes like I don't know. I want to say it has like a sweetness in the background
It does. Yeah, there is a sweetness there.
that you're kind of not expecting in a pasta because you look at it and I mean it was meaty, it was like very creamy. So when you
Yeah.
get hit by that sweetness, it's kind of unexpected, and then it's immediately followed by that umami kind of. It's kind of an elevated flavor, I think, personally.
I'm gonna put my Marmite in there next. You know how you're in your Maggi
Bitch.
phase, I'm in the Marmite phase. I just didn't know if because it had beef stock in there. And
Yeah.
the other thing too is I did not salt a lot of it. So be careful with the salt content, just because I have to be careful with salt content. But it
Taste
is
it.
pretty flavorful when you take it out. That beef stock has a lot of salt in it. I bought the low sodium one, but it still has quite a bit of salt.
Before you add the pasta, taste the
Yes.
liquid.
Yep.
And then you'll know if maybe you add a little bit more liquid if it's a bit salty, or if you have to add a little bit more seasoning, because that's what it's gonna taste like, that liquid.
I've learned a lot that I do salt my food as I cook, but I've learned a lot that especially a dish like this, like a pasta dish, a rice dish, things like that. I've learned to salt my food after it's cooked and I taste it, just because lately, I don't know why, the past month or two, I have fucked up like two or three dishes
Hmm,
because I added too much salt in the beginning.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, taste as you go. That's really the only way to learn how to cook, honestly, is to taste as you go and to fuck things up. That's
Yeah.
definitely part of the process. You're gonna fuck things up. But we're
Good.
here to help.
That's what we are here to do.
Give this pasta a shot and let us know how it goes. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcast Player. We just got a new one. It was so
You
nice.
did. It was a beautiful review. So thank you for that.
We love hearing from you guys. And pass this along to your friends so that maybe you guys can have a dinner party and talk about food FAQ. That's like my dream, my wettest dream.
One day, someone out there. So we have enough listeners, Marty. Someone out there is talking about food FAQ.
Right? At a little dinner party.
I love that.
Maybe there's like fabulous gays in other states. Like, oh my God, did you hear about Eric?
Probably not.
Whatever.
No,
All
not
right,
that
you
popular.
guys. You never know. You could be. You could be like the face of food in the gay community. Just saying.
Probably.
You know? All right. Well, make our dreams come true, y'all. We love you. Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.